once again, thank you very much on behalf of Sing Capital for all your sharing today.
Welcome.
So if we can have one takeaway from you, what would you see or think that would be something that you have high conviction for the next 1 year?
Okay, again, thank you all for coming down and listening to us present through so many of our different solutions for clients. I think the reality is that, when you look at a lot of clients' portfolios today, I think many of them will have to start comparing fact sheets of the different funds that they own, and they'll realize that they are very heavily overweight, likely the US, tech companies, and maybe even China to a certain extent. And it's just a function of how global equity portfolios, multi-asset portfolios and all that have just accumulated into over the last 3 to 5 years. So over at Nikko, largely because we are maybe based out in Singapore, we have capabilities in Asian equities, and we have also boots on the ground where our fund managers visit a lot of Asian countries and companies. They start to share with us that there's a lot of opportunities within the Asia small cap space. And so that plays very, very nicely into our Nikko AM Shenton Emerging Enterprise Discovery Fund. We nickname it SEED for short, because if you take S, Shenton, EED, right, Emerging Enterprise Discovery, is the seed fund, and that really leads to the whole idea about looking for companies that are in the infancy stages, or still perhaps smallish in size, that you can come in a little bit early and then ride the wave as they grow bigger and bigger. But what's very interesting about the small cap space, especially when you look at Asia's small cap, it is very, very differentiated from the large cap space, right? Whereas else in the large cap, you see a lot more China, Hong Kong, and all these other companies. Within the small cap space, you are actually seeing more weightage into things like India, into things like Taiwan, into things like Korea as well. So three things I would say. One, you then get real portfolio diversification. You're not going to see the repeats of the same old large cap names within the small cap fund naturally. But yeah, at the same time, these are companies that are, on the verge of all being discovered and all that. And two, it is not true that small caps are things like illiquid companies, they got no cash flow, they are all, startups and all these others. A lot of the small cap companies are companies that now become very, very famous. So a good example that I can give to you is Moutai. So Moutai used to be a small cap company, but today, who doesn't know Moutai, especially if you enjoy a cup or two every evening. So this is an example. If you could go back in the past and get exposure to Moutai right at the beginning, would you not want to get exposure to Moutai? I think the answer is yes. Last but not least as well, it's also small cap, why they represent such good opportunities is because they are very under-researched. So just to give you an example, if we all know the famous Chinese names like Tencent, Alibaba and all these others, a lot of graduates from the universities, when they become financial analysts, they all want to study these companies. So it's not uncommon to have 20, 30, 40 analysts from all the big companies covering this one firm of Tencent. But when you look at, back to my analogy of some of the other companies, Moutai and all that previously, you maybe get 1, 2 analysts or maybe none at all. So the fact that Nikko AM, we can come in and provide those boots on the ground, study the companies, we are very confident that we're able to uncover some gems and all that for you. And again, I put it in the context of where the market is right now, where a lot of people are worried about recession, where people are worried about US growth and all that in general. I think the Asia small cap space offers a different conversation point, and one that is not very repeated within anybody's general portfolio at this point in time. Yeah?
Sounds good. And once again, thank you
No
for
problem.
having us here today.
Thank you.